Welcome back to the PHCC of Washington Podcast. I'm Dennis Hamon, alongside PHCC Executive Director Todd, Allred. If you're a plumbing, HVAC, or mechanical contractor, today's conversation could literally save you thousands of dollars. We're talking about everything from protecting your business with the right legal documents, to reducing insurance costs, to collecting overdue accounts receivable, and even offering an employee benefit that can help you attract and retain great people. Joining us today is Kevin Dunn with LegalShield, who also serves as chair of the PHCC of Washington Membership Committee. Kevin shares practical advice every contractor can use immediately, whether you're just getting started or running a multi-million-dollar company. And if you're not already a member of PHCC of Washington, you're about to hear exactly why contractors all over our state are joining. Let's jump into the conversation. Kevin, Todd, I feel like I just saw you just the other day.
We see each other a lot. I really value it. It's awesome. I look forward to it every time.
We're all over the state. We were in Spokane yesterday at the Consolidated Supply Hog Roast. That was awesome.
It was awesome. A lot of people were there.
Everybody was there for lunch, a big barbecue. I guess they do that every year.
Yeah.
At least 100 people showed up. Pretty strong.
Yeah, very cool. So, Todd, you're the executive director of PHCC in Washington. And Kevin, you are on the board as well as you are with LegalShield.
Yeah, I'm also the chair of the membership committee, which I absolutely love doing. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and we've seen two things happen. One, we've created a strong foundation. Everybody who is here wants to be here, and that's very important. And now we're growing, and I predict we're going to hit 100 contractors by the end of 2026, which would be a high watermark for us. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, awesome. So LegalShield, I've heard that name before in my life, but why are you connected with PHCC?
Well, let me give you a quick rundown of LegalShield. Been around for 50 years, serving 4.5 million people, got more than 6,000 attorneys in our network nationwide, and we have legal services for both individuals that you can offer as an employee benefit and for the business owner. What I most loved about PHCC as I started looking into it is the collaboration. And that's what PHCC really means to me. It's people getting together to come up with better ideas to solve problems that they've got on a daily basis without having to do all of their Googles, right? Or trail by braille. You can ask another professional, another contractor, what are you doing about this? What are you doing about that? And to me, that's been phenomenal. I've learned a ton about how to make my business model better by watching these contractors make their business model better.
Yes, for sure. And so LegalShield, to me, LegalShield is, you bring two things for contractors. Like, I'm really big into developing apprentices into techs, and you put a lot of money into them, young guys or gals. And then if they get in an accident or a speeding ticket or anything, all of a sudden, sometimes they're not able to drive our trucks, and you can help with that.
Well, absolutely. Let's talk about the traffic ticket representation. I ran across an unfortunate situation where a young guy thought he was doing the right thing, 25 years old, got a traffic citation, just paid the ticket. I'm going to be an honorable citizen. I'm just going to pay it. But unfortunately, the insurance for him with the carrier for that contractor went up $600 a month. And it's going to stay up for 36 months until that ticket falls off his record. So him being a good guy just cost the company $20,000 in increased insurance premiums. And it's as simple as, if they've got LegalShield in place and we can go to court and get the best possible outcome for the ticket, 99 times out of 100, at a minimum, we can change it to a non-moving violation, leave alone get it off of their record. So that way they've got a clean driving record, which you and I know is critical for young apprentices and young plumbers to keep their job, because anywhere they go, it's going to follow them around. They can't just leave and go to a different company and have that insurance rate not be affected. And here's how it works. Usually they don't increase the premium of the carrier with. The carrier will just kick you off of the coverage, and you have to go outside and get third market, second market coverage. And that's why the rates go up so high. But let me share another quick thought that we've run across as well. Believe it or not, young people get into legal situations all the time. And believe it or not, they get distracted at work when those things come up. So what we have found is that by giving them like a little safety valve, that we can kind of loosen up the safety valve and let them talk to an attorney and get some advice, or have them write a letter, review a contract, whatever it is they've got going on in their life. Now they're not bringing those legal issues to work. they're able to focus and do a way better job. And the great thing is we can offer it at no cost to the employer, completely voluntary.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is like an employee benefit
Yeah.
that a contractor can sign up with LegalShield and then provide for the employees.
And the employees save more than 40% off of market prices just by getting it through their employer.
Awesome.
So the most powerful thing as an owner is information. And usually it comes at a high price. Usually the learning curve is you make the mistake and then you fix the problem. But it's a different mindset when you've got a legal service, specifically as a small business owner. So now you can actually call in advance. You're not worried about paying $500 an hour, right? A little situation comes up and you go, hey, am I right? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Give me some options to deal with the situation. And I can get out in front of it far more easily. Have an attorney review the contract before you sign it, sir, not after. That's too late. You got to do it before. Now, I think that having a strong accounts receivable system is critical, because it's so frustrating when someone does all of the work and then you don't get the money, especially if one's thinking about meeting payroll every week. You need to get paid on the jobs your guys are doing so that you can turn around and pay them during payroll period. It's pretty critical. But the cool thing about LegalShield is that they will write unlimited debt collection letters now on our small business plans, which is incredible. So what that means is every single time that somebody isn't paying you in a timely basis, no matter how far back, we can help out and write a letter to help you collect that money. And anything you collect, you keep 100% of it. So what we found through experience is that it doesn't work every single time, but it's working 3 or 4 times out of 10, where one letter from the attorney is getting that client to pay. And now that takes all that stress away at being a business owner.
Wow, that's huge. Todd, you know lots of contractors that would help.
I know lots of contractors that would help, like every one of them. When I was a contractor, we leveraged that. When you go in and look at all the people that owe you and you're like, man, what to do about this? It becomes a daunting task to try to get paid for the work that you've performed. And we leveraged the LegalShield program to collect those invoices. We were quite successful with it, but just having that resource in place was a huge weight off of my back. And it should be. I've heard from other contractors that anytime they have an AR issue, they're leveraging the program and sending out a letter, and it's in their SOPs. And it should be in all of the contractor SOPs.
One quick thing is interesting. You should bring that up. When we come in, almost every single time, they've got some poor, nice lady who's doing all the debt collections. The office manager, the payroll person, whoever's doing that, they're being forced to get on the phone with people who aren't paying and say, could you please pay us? Could you please pay us? That is not an efficient use of their time. They're wonderful people. Why are you dumping it on their shoulders? Let the law firm, who's used to being professional and direct and has the correct wording to collect that money, let them do the heavy lifting first before you have the nice lady call. Then when if the nice lady calls, you can say, well, did you get the letter from our attorney? We'd really like to collect on this. Now it's a different reaction. Now it's, oh yeah, we did get that letter. Okay, we'll take care of that. Instead of like ignoring that call. Does that make sense? So I think taking the pressure off of your existing people is really critical. You've got other things that need to be doing to build your business. Let LegalShield step in with their incredible attorneys and let them help collect your money.
That's huge, Kevin. Like, it's hard. The younger generation's seems like they're a little shy on the phone, right? And so it's one thing to be on the phone, let alone call and try to collect. So let your guys be the bad cop. And then we get to continue to be the good cop. Is that what you're saying?
I can almost guarantee that in the hiring process, you did not tell that nice young person that debt collection was going to be part of their responsibilities. They learned about that after you hired them. So let's take that back off of their plate, right? And let them do the job that you hired them to do.
Right. So Todd, would you do that like once a month? What was your process for that in your company?
Yeah, it was once a month. We would look at the AR and then we would decide, okay, well, this one's in process. We don't need to contact them. They've got a payment plan or something, right? But those that were behind more than 30 days or something, we would send it to LegalShield to send out a letter.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one other thing I want to mention as well, there are other options that owners have. I mean, you can file a lien, you can file a lawsuit to collect. But before you get to that point and expend time and resources, this should slot right in directly after you decide they're not paying you and you should do something. This is the next step. Even before you have your people calling right, to collect, call LegalShield and establish a plan with each debt that you have, because they're going to be different. Some of them are going to be insurance checks that they're just not paying you. Some of them are jobs you did, but they didn't pay on the spot. And another little cautionary tale, we encourage every owner, you get a standard operating system for whoever you're using when you go out on your pads and you're giving them the specs and you're showing them the right. I hope you're having that client sign a contract inside of that pad, right? And I hope you had an attorney look at that contract so you know it's doing what you think it should be doing. And I hope you had an attorney look at it to make sure it includes all of the lien language when you're doing the job before you start. And that is going to protect you. And that's where having an attorney look at this stuff. The laws change all the time. So at least once a year, we recommend anything that you have the client sign, and you should be having them sign something, anything you're having the client sign, have the attorney review it annually to make sure it's still serving you. And that's going to take a lot of pressure off as well.
So some of these smaller contractors that are just getting started, like LegalShield can review all those documents for them and make sure what they're doing is legal.
Well, absolutely. Because if you're going to be leasing vans or trucks or equipment or space, we find that there's 15 or 20 legal contracts that basically run every plumbing contractor's business, every HVAC business, every electrician's business, every law firm, every fast food restaurant. There's a number of contracts where you're constrained by what that contract says. So we encourage you to have an attorney look at it before you sign it. If you've got things that you have signed before you got LegalShield, I would still have the attorney review all of those documents. And here's why. There might come a time where a better offer comes along and you need to know, how do I get out of this contract that I've got right now? And that's going to help you save a ton of money, just so you understand legally where you stand with every contract that you've got. So open up the file cabinet behind you and start month by month going through every contract that you've signed and make sure you know what it says and you know how to get out of it.
Awesome. Todd, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I think a lot of contractors forget that when they're entering into a transaction with a consumer, that they need to make sure if they ever don't get paid and they want to file a lien, they need to notify the consumer at the beginning of the transaction, whether it's a signature on that iPad with that legal language in there or whatever. But also Labor and Industries requires that you inform the consumer that there's the possibility of a lien could be on the property for non-payment.
Yeah, great point. It's a great point.
They just miss it. And it's really good to have all of that up front.
You got to have all of these arrows in your quiver. So making sure that that lien is a possibility, that possibility occurs at the beginning before you do the job inside that contract.
Awesome. I have to tell a story really quick. Remember the 2008 recession? That hit us in Seattle. Like, it really sucked. But in January, I had our annual holiday party. And on Monday, that next week, I was letting, I think, like almost half our crew go.
Oh,
like
so rough.
techs, apprentices, office. The phones just literally quit ringing. It was horrible. But so what that means is all of a sudden I didn't have the money to pay lots of bills as well, right? And so one of the reasons people aren't paying their bills is because they don't have the money, right? That there's a money crunch. I remember someone we owed money to. We owed money to lots of people for a little bit. We got a letter from an attorney, and they're like, hey, it was serious. Pay up or else. Guess who got paid first?
Great point, Dennis. Exactly. I'd be willing to bet the entity you had an attorney letter from, that's probably who you paid first, right?
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I wonder if that was LegalShield, because we owed the suppliers. We weren't the only ones. I'm not embarrassed to say this. It caught everybody off guard, and we're in trouble. And we're trying to pay a little bit here, a little bit there, and we're trying to balance out the money, the little that was coming in, trying to cover and keep accounts open and stuff. But one guy, within 2 weeks, we got a letter like, hey, pay up, bucko. Like, I'm dead serious, or I'm going to take you to court. And we got him paid off fast. Awesome, guys. Well, that was super informative. I'm a big fan of LegalShield. Thanks for being a part of PHCC, Kevin. And thanks for being on the membership committee. And thanks for helping our contractors not get left behind with legal issues.
No, it's amazing. I think what we're building is something extremely valuable, and it is extremely important, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kevin.
Have a great day.
Kevin.
Thanks, guys.
What a great conversation. Kevin, thanks so much for sharing your experience and for everything you're doing for contractors across Washington through LegalShield and as chair of the PHCC membership committee. If today's discussion reminded you that your contracts probably need reviewing, you've got money tied up in accounts receivable, or you'd simply like to have affordable legal advice available before problems become expensive, I'd encourage you to reach out to Kevin Dunn and the team at LegalShield. They work with contractors every day and understand the challenges of running a service business. And if you are watching this and you're not yet a member of PHCC of Washington, now's the time. The networking, the education, the apprenticeship programs, the business resources, and the relationships you build with other successful contractors are worth many times the cost of membership. As Kevin said during today's episode, one of the biggest advantages of PHCC is that you don't have to figure everything out on your own. You're surrounded by contractors who are willing to share what's working and help each other succeed. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with another contractor who could benefit from it. Until next time, keep building great companies, developing great people, and we'll see you on the next PHCC of Washington podcast.